Hello everyone. Today we'll be solving Cambridge IGCSE Chemistry Paper 2 Multiple Choice Extended. In this particular video, we'll be solving October-November 20 Paper 2 variant. Guys, this is a two-part series video. In this question paper, we are going to solve question number 1 to question number 20. I'm going to put this in a playlist and you can watch it from there. Question number 1. Which gas has the slowest rate of diffusion? Guys, any gas, the rate of diffusion depends on its molecular formula and mass. So the mass of hydrogen is 2, ammonia is 17, methane is 16, and carbon dioxide is 44. So the slowest rate of diffusion will be carbon dioxide. A chromatography experiment is carried out to analyze the pigments present in 4 different types of leaf. The student trying out the experiment forgot to complete the table of results, which is shown. Plant leaf, maple, number of pigments identified. F. Color of identified pigments, green/yellow. Distance traveled by the solvent front, 3.7. Distance traveled from the origin by each pigment/centimeter, green 3.0, yellow 3.1. RF value, green 0.81, yellow 0.83. Now, question is, which row identifies the value of FGH? So guys, we can definitely say there are 2 pigments here because one of them is 0.81, the other one is 0.83. So there are 2 pigments for F. And all right, we can see that in the laurel, all right, the plant leaf laurel, the pigments were 2, they were green and yellow. All right, distance traveled by the solvent front is absent. All right, we have green, which is 2.5, and a green has a value of 0.78. Guys, in order to find out what is the value of this G, we can see both of the values for G are mentioned 3.2 in options A and C. So we don't necessarily need to calculate it. All right, for H. Now for H. So guys, for H, we can see in the ash, there are 3 pigments, green, yellow, orange. All right, distance traveled by the solvent front, 3.5. For green, 2.8. For yellow, 3.0. Orange, 2.7. Green 0.80 and yellow H is missing. Guys, for this particular yellow, we can find out the RF value. So the RF value will be distance traveled by the yellow, which is 3.0, divided by distance traveled by the solvent front, which is 3.5. So 3.0 divided by 3.5, which gives us 0.857, 0.86. So we can see 0.86 will be the correct answer. So guys, C, question number 2, C will be the correct answer. Guys, for those who did not understand how this question was done, let me give you a understanding very clearly. For maple leaf, when we see that the color of the identified pigments were 2, we saw that there were 2 RF values, we knew there were 2 pigments, which is pretty much assured. No need to be hesitant about it. Okay, now the next thing is for the for the G, all right, we had only one possible answer for the G, which was 3.2. So we did not bother about calculating it. However, if we wanted to calculate it, the calculation would be as follows. Because we want to find out the distance traveled by the solvent front. All right, so our math would be RF equals to, now we already know the RF value. The RF value for green is 0.78. So RF is equals to distance traveled by the solute. So the green has traveled 2.5. We don't know what G has traveled. So we leave it as G. We know the value of RF. So the RF value is mentioned 0.78, which is equals to 2.5 divided by G. Now guys, you already got the idea how we can find the G. The G can be equals to 2.5 divided by 0.78, and that's how we find out the value of G. So guys, 2.5 divided by 0.78 is 3.2. 3.205, which basically means 3.2. That's why, guys, we did not find it out for G because it was already given. Now, guys, question number 3. Which statement about isotopes is correct? All right. Which statement about isotopes is correct? Now, guys, we know that they have different mass number, but the first statement says they have different proton number. Guys, proton number is the identity of an element. Having different proton means it's a different element. So this will not be correct. Then moving to part B, they have different chemical properties. We know that isotope has similar number of electrons in their outer shell as their original atom, and thereby they have similar chemical properties. So that is also wrong. They have the same nucleon number. Guys, isotopes have different nucleon or mass number. So this statement is also wrong. Finally, D, they have the same number of electrons in their outer shell. So same number of electrons in their outer shell, that is the correct statement. So guys, let me give you a demonstration. We have C12, all right, then we have C14, and then we have C13. All right. So in every cases, the proton is 6. And neutron is 6, neutron is 8 here, and neutron is 7 here. So yes, they have different nucleon number. Guys, since they have same number of proton, their electronic configuration in every cases will be 2,4. So they have the same number of electrons in their outer shell. Question number 4. In the chromatography experiment shown, which label represents the solvent front? Now the guys, the solvent front is represented by this. This is solvent front. All right, guys, this is baseline. This is the solvent. All right, so definitely A is the correct answer. 4A. Question number 5. Different methods of separation rely on substances having different properties. Which property does distillation make use of? Guys, we know that distillation always makes use of for example, boiling point. All right, distillation requires boiling point. Color has nothing to do with it. Particle size or solubility in different solvents has nothing to do with it. In distillation, separation by distillation uses boiling point. For example, let's say if we have NaCl aqueous. So we have two things in here, NaCl and we have H2O. H2O boils at 100 degrees Celsius. And sodium chloride boils at a much higher temperature than 100 degrees Celsius. So definitely water will boil off. All right. So A is the correct answer. Question number 6. The arrangement of electrons in two ions forms from element X and Y as shown. So we can see X has 8 electrons in their outer shell. All right. We can see the number of proton is 19. All right, number of proton is 19. We can thereby see electronic configuration of 2, 8, 8. That means there is total of 18 electrons. So guys, this must be an ion. X must be a X plus ion because it has 19 proton but 18 electron. Whereas Y has a proton number of 17. However, we can see there is electronic configuration of 288. That means it is Y minus. It has gained 1 electron because it has a proton number of 17. Now, the question says which equation represents the reaction between element X and Y. So, element X and Y. Guys, Y can be represented with 17 number of protons. It's chlorine. We know that chlorine is diatomic. So, Y2 can be reacting with 2X because X with proton number 19 can be represented with potassium. So 2 potassium will be needed to react with chlorine, and as a result we can get 2 KCl. So 2X plus Y2, 2X minus plus, so we will get all right, we will get, after we do the reaction, we will get 2K plus and 2Cl minus. So in other term, we will get 2X plus and we will get 2Y minus. So 2X plus Y2, 2X plus 2Y minus. C will be the correct answer, guys. Question number 6, C. Question number 7. Which row identifies compound that contains single covalent bonds only? Double covalent bonds only, or both single and double covalent bonds? Single covalent bonds only. So guys, in the molecule of ethane, we have CC double bond. So since there is a CC double bond, so that will be cancelled. Single covalent bond will be found in methanol. In methanol, all right, there is all single covalent bond. Guys, in carbon dioxide, we again have CC double bond, CCO oxygen double bond. So B and C, they are correct, single covalent bond. Now the next question says double covalent bonds only. We know that only in carbon dioxide there is carbon double covalent bonds. All right, so this will be the second answer. And both single and double covalent bonds will be in this last one. So 7C will be the correct answer. Guys, if you haven't understood the question yet, please draw this structure the way I have done it for you. All right, question number 8. Ethyl methanoate. Ethyl methanoate burns in excess oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water. The equation is shown. Ethyl methanoate plus XO2 produces 6 CO2 and 6 H2O. What is the value of X? So the value of X, guys, we need to balance it. There are a total of 6 into 2, 12 oxygen in here, and 6, total of 18. Now, from here, we have 2 oxygens, which is multiplied by 2, so we will have to minus 4 oxygens. 18 minus 4 gives us a total of 14. 14 is equals to, since we will have to convert it into O2, so 14 divided by 2, that will be 7. So 7 O2 will be the answer, guys. Question number 8, part B. Guys, if you haven't understood the balancing, please try and balance the number of oxygen. Here we have 12. Here we have 6. We put them together. That is equals to 18. Now you will subtract any oxygen that you started with in the left side. Over here, you had 2 oxygen multiplied by 2. So we subtracted 4 oxygen, which gave us 14. So this 14 oxygen must be supplied. So 14 oxygen can be supplied by 7O2. Part 9. Rubidium is in the group 1 of the periodic table and bromine is in group 7. Rubidium reacts with bromine to form an ionic compound. Which row shows the electron change taking place for rubidium and correct formula of the rubidium ion? Electron change, formula of rubidium ion. So guys, rubidium is in group 1 of the periodic table and bromine is in group 7. All right, rubidium reacts with bromine. Now we know that rubidium is a metal. It's in group 1. Rb will definitely lose 1 electron. And since bromine is in group 7, so bromine will gain 1 electron. All right. So electron change. All right. Formula of the ion formed. So after gaining electron, rubidium, all right, rubidium does not gain electron, loses electron. So electron lost for rubidium and rubidium becomes Rb plus. So C will be the correct answer, guys. Question number 9, C. Question number 10. Which statement explains why graphite is used as a lubricant? So graphite, all bonds between the atoms are weak. Now in graphite, we know that graphite have hexagonal structures. So all the bonds between the graphite molecules are pretty strong covalent bonds. So there is no weak bonds between them. So that is a wrong statement. Question number 10. It conducts electricity. Yes, it is a conductor of electricity, but that doesn't explain why it is a lubricant. It has a low melting point. It has a relatively very high melting point, so that is a wrong statement. And finally, D, layer in the structure can slide over each other. Guys, that is the main reason why one graphite, all right, layer, the main reason is the graphite layer can slide past each other. The graphite layer can slide past each other. So that is the main reason why it can act as a lubricant. Guys, moving on, question number 11. The relative atomic mass of chlorine is 35.5. When calculating relative atomic mass, which particle is the mass of chlorine atom compared to? So we want to calculate relative atomic mass. Now remember that when we want to calculate relative atomic mass, we compare it with an atom of carbon 12. Because an atom of carbon-12 contains exactly 6 protons and 6 neutrons. And it is also very abundant. All right, it is very abundant, so it can be used as a form of comparison. So 11C is the answer, an atom of carbon-12. Question number 12. Universal indicator solution is added to neutral solution of concentrated aqueous sodium chloride. All right, the solution contains H plus ion, Na plus ion, Cl minus ion, hydroxide ion, and it is electrolyzed. The product at the cathode is hydrogen gas and the product at the anode is chlorine gas. So guys, it is already mentioned that we are going to get hydrogen and chlorine gas in the cathode and the anode. Now the question is, what happens to the color of the indicator in the solution during electrolysis? Guys, if we were to carefully cancel H plus ion and Cl minus ion, you will notice that there is Na plus and OH minus that is remaining. So this Na plus and OH minus will result in sodium hydroxide. This will result in sodium hydroxide aqueous. So sodium hydroxide aqueous, definitely this will change the indicator's color towards blue. All right, towards blue or violet, because sodium hydroxide is a very strong base. So the color changes from blue to green. So guys, the color, all right, was in the beginning green. So from blue will be a wrong statement. The color changes from green and then it goes towards blue, guys. That is the correct statement because it is alkaline. Color changing from green to red is wrong because the solution became alkaline, not acidic. So question number 12, C will be the correct answer, guys. Question number 13. What is the empirical formula of an oxide of iron formed by reacting 2.24 gram of iron with 0.96 gram of oxygen? Okay, guys. In the case of an empirical formula, it's good that we set up the formula and find it out ourselves. So 2.24 gram with oxygen 0.96. All right. So iron has a mass of 56, oxygen has a mass of 16. We're going to divide it by their relative atomic mass to find out the next, or to find out their ratio. 2.24 divided by 56 gives us 0.04. 0.96 divided by 16 gives us 0.06. Now we have to choose the smallest number between them two. So 0.04 will be divided by 0.04 and 0.06 will be divided by 0.04. The resulting answer is 1 and the resulting answer is 1.5. So since we have a decimal place, we will multiply it with such numbers so that we get whole number. So now we're going to get Fe2O3. So guys, Fe2O3, 13C will be the correct answer. Now guys, moving to question number 14. The combustion of methane is exothermic. We can see the reaction. The statement, which statement about this reaction is correct? So guys, the energy needed to break the bonds in methane and oxygen is greater than the energy released in making new bonds in carbon dioxide and water. So the energy needed to break the bonds in methane and oxygen is greater, meaning that the overall reaction will be endothermic. Whenever energy needed to break bonds in reactant, these are reactants, by the way, guys. Remember that reactants will be written as greater. That means this is an endothermic reaction. But they say that this is an exothermic reaction. So that will be wrong. Now the next question. Next point. The energy needed to break the bonds in methane and oxygen is less than the energy released in making new bonds in carbon dioxide and water. Guys, if we were to explain this particular statement B, this is a correct statement. What it means is that when methane was reacted with 2O2, all right, the energy needed was much less than the energy that was given back when it turned into carbon dioxide and 2H2O. So 14B will be the correct answer, guys. Guys, question number 15. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen in a fuel cell. Hydrogen plus oxygen produces water. The reaction is exothermic. 286 kilojoules of energy is released for every mole of water formed. Which volume of hydrogen gas measured at room temperature and pressure would react with oxygen that releases 7,000 joules of energy? Now, guys, this is a very critical question. For every mole of water formed, we release 286. We can see here we formed 2 moles of water. So, all right. So 2 moles of water, all right, is equals to 286 multiplied by 2. All right. Now you will be like, why am I multiplying it with 2? You will understand the significance in a moment. 572 kilojoules. Now 572 kilojoules require 1 mole of oxygen, guys. Remember that. 1 mole of oxygen is needed by 572 kilojoules. But our question says only 7,000 joules of energy. So what would be the energy released? All right. So for 572 requires 1 mole O2. Okay. For 7 kilojoules, it will require 1 divided by 572 multiplied by 7. 1 divided by answer multiplied by 7. 0.0122. All right. So 0.0122 moles of oxygen would be required. So 0.0122, when we multiplied with 24,000, then this will give us 292 cm cube of oxygen. All right. Which volume of hydrogen gas measured at room temperature and pressure would react with oxygen to release 7,000 joules? Oh, so guys, because mistakenly find out the number of moles for oxygen, which is 1, and hydrogen is at a 2 ratio, so volume of hydrogen will be just double that of oxygen. So 292 multiplied by 2 equals to 586. So 587 cm cube of hydrogen will be required. Guys, question number 16. Which substance does not require oxygen in order to produce energy? So we know that coal requires oxygen, hydrogen requires oxygen, even natural gas, which is methane, requires oxygen. However, uranium is a nuclear fuel and therefore does not require oxygen. Guys, question number 17. Nitrogen and hydrogen can be converted into ammonia using a catalyst. What is the purpose of catalyst? So why do we need a catalyst? The reason why we need a catalyst is to increase the amount of ammonia produced. Guys, when it says amount of ammonia, that means it is about increasing yield. Increasing yield. Guys, remember the catalyst does not increase yield, so 17A will be wrong. To increase the rate of reaction. Yes, catalyst can increase the rate of reaction. That is correct. Let's see why the other points are wrong. So to reduce the amount of reactant needed, no. Catalyst cannot decrease amount of reactant needed. To reduce the rate of reaction, catalyst, there are negative catalysts that reduces rate of reaction, but over here, the use of iron as a catalyst, all right, or the use of catalyst is actually to speed up the reaction. So 17B will be correct. Question number 18. Ammonia is produced by Haber process. The equation is shown. N2 plus 3H2 producing 2 ammonia. The forward reaction is exothermic. Which statement is correct? So increasing pressure decreases yield of ammonia but speeds up the reaction. Okay. So if we increase pressure, we can see there are 4 moles on the reactant side and there are 2 moles on the product side. So if we increase the pressure, this should increase the yield. They say decrease the yield, so thereby wrong statement. All right, then increasing temperature decreases the yield but speeds up the reaction. Guys, this is correct because the forward reaction is exothermic, the backward reaction is thereby endothermic. When we increase temperature, the backward reaction is favored more. However, guys, at higher temperature, the rate of reaction is always higher. So B will be the correct answer. Guys, let's see why points C and D are wrong. Increasing the concentration of hydrogen and nitrogen results in a lower yield of ammonia. So if we increase the concentration of hydrogen and nitrogen, guys, it will increase the yield of ammonia, because we would get the reactant converted into product. So that is a wrong statement. Increasing the temperature increases the yield of ammonia and speeds up the reaction, guys. That is wrong as well, because increasing temperature is favoring the reverse reaction more, because the reverse reaction is endothermic. 18B is the correct answer, guys. Question number 19. During the manufacture of sulfuric acid, sulfur dioxide is converted into sulfur trioxide. Sulfur dioxide plus oxygen, sulfur trioxide. What type of reaction is this? Guys, this is a kind of oxidation reaction, because we are adding oxygen. All right. There is no thermal decomposition or anything taking place. So no displacement, neutralization, or thermal decomposition. The answer should be oxidation, because addition of oxygen is oxidation. Question number 20. The equation for the redox reaction is shown. FeSO4 plus Cl2 producing H2SO4, Fe2SO4 3 plus 2HCl. Which element is reduced? Guys, here we have Fe, which is 2 plus, and chlorine, which is, the chlorine has no charge, it is 0. All right. However, when we go on the other side, we can see the chlorine becomes HCl. In HCl, the chlorine becomes -1, and FeSO4 3, meaning that the iron has become +3. So iron went from Fe to Fe2 plus to Fe3 plus. Chlorine went from 0 to -1. So the chlorine is the one which is reduced. So chlorine will be the answer, guys. Question number 20. A will be the correct answer. Guys, that's all for today's video. If you like videos like this, then subscribe to the channel. Let the channel grow. Guys, at the time of making this particular video, our channel had a total of 206 hours in the last 28 days views. And that's a lot, obviously. Thank you guys for that. All right, I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please comment and let us know how we can help you with more question paper solved. All right, and subscribe to the channel and let the channel grow, guys. Bye-bye.